Hi, my name is Yossi. I'm a musician. Uh, I work in music and in studios and stuff like that, just like a scientist, 4 hours every day, and sometimes 12 hours a day, on sounds. The difference is, even though I see the frequencies on the computer and everything's supposed to be right, I judge things how it feels. In the end, it's only how it feels. And now how it looks. And now if it makes sense. Sometimes when it doesn't make sense, it feels so much better than when it makes sense. And so this is my my line of work is to make sense and then to catch moments that doesn't make sense and understand that makes sense because it feels great. So first of all, the experience was very different for me, especially on the second time, which we were creating. We were actually creating together musical experiences. That's the best thing for me to say. And it was because I had to interpret ideas that are comes from non-musicians in general, and scientists that have certain ideas about frequencies and sound, and yet I wanted to make it music because that's my outcome usually. The best way for me to explain something sometimes without talking about it is actually making music out of it. So I got inspired and we created certain tunes or pieces of music that would have not been created if it was just musicians all together, you know? The fact that there was non-musicians giving me so many different ideas made me step out of my comfort zone completely. They brought me sounds of water, of forests, of frequencies, of avalanche, you know, and somehow you need to put it together in a way that you can figure those sounds and those frequencies, but make it approachable, that it would be even, it wouldn't sound like just chaos of sounds. Somehow it make it like a musical piece. So I'm very happy also that I brought with me Yuval here, who is a trumpet player, and he's a scientist. And so he could play along those things. He played the trumpet, he played along those things, but he also understood, and it was helping me to interpret those two different worlds together. Basically, I got inspired, and I hopefully that it was mutual.
What would you hope they got from it?
Okay, very good. So what I hope they got from it, and I think that that was my main thing, it was to first of all, step out of your comfort zone, and maybe you should get ideas from people that are not in your field. Because people that will be in your field of profession, of research, all think pretty much about around the same things. And when you have somebody that comes up from out of your field completely, and he brings an idea, in the beginning, it's very weird. What? Why would you even? That's not how you do it. But all of a sudden you go like, wait a minute, let me try something with it. And so I know that in music it works many, many times. One of the best teachers about that was, and I spoke about it last time, was working with David Bowie and having him bring the wrong musicians to play together. Not everybody came from the same field. Each one came from a completely different field, and the songs that he brought were pretty much normal songs. But the fact that it was so many different uh, methods and worlds coming together made it sound what his music sounds like, which is like this weird and unique thing. So I think that a lot of times, if you want to come up with some new inventions, ideas, it's good to get it outside of your world and get somebody else completely. So I hope if that came out for people, then then that was great. Okay, so failure. I forgot who says it. One of those great. Failure is a great way to get. You cannot really progress without failures. You need to try something that you think is so unique and figure it out that it doesn't work, but you want to get somewhere. So you need to fail many, many times. It's good to fail, but never stop until you get to a certain thing that you really wanted. And so a failure is only a failure if you stop right there. But if you don't stop because of the failure and you go, I'll try it again, and I'll try it again until I'll make it work, then all of a sudden it becomes great and it's not a failure. And I think that most of the great inventions of humanity was many failures until one day he figured it out. It would be Thomas Edison with the phone, with electricity, with so many different things. It was failures, so many failures until it worked. Airplane, they tried to fly the airplane, to make it fly so many different times. And if they would quit in the middle, it would have been failure.
Working, experimenting with music.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's not absolutely, because if I would see myself from the side working on projects, it's 12 hours a day for sometimes 2 months every day. So it's like trying, no, this with a little bit of that, with a little bit of this, with a little bit of that, and this element and that element, no, a little bit of this and that. It's all day like that. And that's really most of the stuff that I'm working. People see musicians or somebody like me, they see me maybe play live, or they see me sometimes maybe on YouTube in a clip from somewhere, 5 minutes of, me doing this. But 99% of the work is at home. 99% of work is at home or in the studio, researching, and try to make it work, and taking many different elements. That's most of my life is that. And so, yes, it is. Even getting the sounds right, even on the guitar, to get it right each and every time that would sound great, each time I play in the show or whatever, a bass, that it was like years of research, of sounds, of different elements, and all kinds of compressors and different amps and different cables and different strings and different wood, and this wood goes good with this string and this particular thing, but not with this one. But it's completely scientific like that. But in the end, if it feels good or not. If it doesn't feel good, out.
And how would you?
I think that when I was younger, I quit. I remember one particular incident. One particular incident. I was working on a certain project for about 2 or 3 years, and it worked until a point, but it never got a break. The big guys never. It never got to the big guys or whatever. And I remember one day I got tired. I was like, I'm quitting it. That's it. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to deal with it. I'm going to the next thing. This is a failure. And I quit. And I remember a friend of mine that was believing in this project with me, for many years, and he was like, "Yeah, no, it's going to work. It's going to work. It's going to work." Was very disappointed that that's what I felt like, and I went into the next things, but I think it was a matter of mood. It was me and a certain mood. But what it taught me that if I believe in something and I really think it's good, do not give up. Just go for it until it comes out at least to a certain crowd that can appreciate it. Maybe not everybody's going to love it or understand it or get it or feel it, but a certain amount of people will get it. If I feel that, somebody else has to feel it and think so. And you need to find the group of people that kind of like search for the same thing that you search for, and because you're not alone. Your ideas are not yours, and your inspiration, it actually comes from above. It's not yours. And so if you think about something, somebody else think about the same thing at another place in the world. And you just need to kind of find each other. Now it's much easier, by the way, than, than before. If you do something, no matter how crazy your experiment will be, you'll put it up on YouTube and you'll explain it a little bit, somebody will get you.
תודה רבה, יוסי. יש לך עוד משהו להוסיף?
לא. בוא אני אוריד בחזרה.